Okay, so Instagram has this new widget thing for their stories where you can actually ask questions directly through the story, so I thought I would try and answer as many of these as I possibly could in the shortest amount of time. Let's go. Is anyone there? Just the lady in red. What does music mean? Leaving a fire emoji on somebody's Instagram post and then immediately unfollowing them once they follow you back. What's your favorite Stevie Wonder song? Probably Overjoyed. Some people might be turned off by the cheesy production, but as a song, it is absolutely brilliantly written in every way, and you should check it out. Check out Victor Wooten's version also. F sharp versus G flat. Who wins? Let's be honest with ourselves. It's F sharp. Are you there? No. What's your favorite song at the moment? Tucci Gang, the SNL parody of Gucci Gang. No. Yes. Foire, foire, foire. Great question, Mary. No. Didn't I already tell the other guy? Yes. What's the thing that has blown your mind the most in music? Seeing Korn live when I was in the 8th grade. That was magical. How do you find time to practice with such a hectic / unpredictable schedule? I really don't. Why are double harmonic minor and major a fourth apart? That's kind of like asking why Ionian and Lydian are a fourth apart. They just kind of are. What type of things can a chords player do to comp over a modal tune like impressions? Play fourth voicings diatonic to the mode. You're gonna sound like McCoy Tyner. What are some exercises you'd recommend for improving dexterity and timing? Practicing music slowly while you count out loud. I don't really have a question, just want to say your content's really fucking good. You are a cutie. Well, thank you. Bass? What is cool? I don't know, but Miles Davis gave birth to it. What is your writing process like? How do you build on ideas more specifically? It depends on what I'm writing for what project. Sometimes I use piano, sometimes I use Sibelius, sometimes I use Ableton Live. I try and get as many ideas out as quickly as I possibly can, and then later edit them down to find the right idea. Where did you get that V-neck in your latest video? I think I have the same one. H&M. What's your favorite fast food restaurant? Five Guys. How old are you? 29. Favorite overtone? The 7th. What's your favorite key? D flat. What's the best jazz fusion group ever? The Trio of Doom. It was a super group put together in the 70s with Jaco Pastorius, John McLaughlin, and Tony Williams, and it was a glorious mess. You should definitely check out their album though. It's pretty sweet. What kind of pickup is the one in your P bass? It's a DiMarzio split P. Is this some new type of jazz meme? What do you think? What's your favorite all-time lick? The Firebird. Of course. Do you know if the vocals and the synths have to be in the same key? Pro tip, they do. Would you bring back Sungazer? My band Sungazer is going to be releasing new material this fall. If a Baroque musician with perfect pitch came back to life, would our music sound sharp? Yeah, probably. They tuned a lot lower than what we do now. How are you, Adam? Are you happy? Does it look like I'm happy? What chord are you thinking about right now? E flat 11, but please don't use it. Do you have any long-term goals for your channel? Make more content. What do you think of Mr. Bungle? They're awesome. Thoughts on Terry Riley? He's pretty cool. How cool is the melody? 1, 5, flat 5, flat 2. What are the standard notes of an altered dominant chord? The term altered dominant is actually fairly ambiguous. Most of the time I think that the person who wrote it means a dominant 7th chord with a flat 5 and maybe a flat 9, but who really knows? I'm making a song where 5 triplets is 1 bar. How do I notate that? You would notate that as 5/12. It's rather strange, but I did make a video on that subject. Bring back the original Adam Neely bass lesson theme song, the one built on perfect fourths? Maybe at some point, but probably not. A, B, C, D, B, G, A. I don't get it. Can music be objectively good? If so, what gives? Craftsmanship or enjoyability / popularity? I would say yes. I think craftsmanship is the most important thing, but the criteria for determining what is good and what is bad is very ill-defined. Is screaming an acceptable form of artistic expression? Guys, I really would just prefer if you used your indoor voices. In fact, I would prefer if you just didn't talk at all. It's more polite. Is the jazz a legitimate genre? God, no. Can you do an extreme jazz reharmonization of Never Gonna Give You Up, please? That would be really funny, but I just don't have the time to dedicate to such tomfoolery. That's just ridiculous. Are you looking for Irish trad musicians to play with in October? That would be really cool. I'm gonna be at the Guinness Jazz Festival in Cork, Ireland at the end of October, so that'll be fun to come and hang out and play with real Irish trad musicians. It'll be fun, yes. How important is sight reading for a pro musician? Very. Do you like fish sticks? I love fish sticks. I love putting fish sticks in my mouth. They're so salty. What is your favorite meme? I can't has cheeseburger. I'm a traditionalist. What do you think of David Maximicik's music? It's pretty sweet. When did you know that you wanted to be a musician as your career and not just for fun? The moment that I knew that I wanted to do it professionally was when I attended a Dave Brubeck masterclass with Christian McBride when I was about 14 years old, and I saw them play and I was like, I want to do that, but like all the time. So I did. What's the best music lecture channel other than yours, of course, to check out on YouTube? There's so many good ones out there. Definitely check out, of course, Rick Beato, Amy Nolte, 12 Tone, Sideways, 8-Bit Music Theory, Ben Levin, Nare Soul, David Bruce Composer. There's so many great ones. Just, God, I wish I could be those people when I grow up. Someday. Does Adam Neely is gay? The real question is, does Leonard Bernstein is gay? And I think we all know the answer to that. Bruno Mars. Why jazz be jazz when yes, yes? Finally, somebody asking the hard-hitting questions. Do you like green? Never make YouTube videos again or never play the lick. I'm assuming that's a question, but it sounds like a directive. How do you deal with the growing influence you are having on musicians? It is incredibly surreal and honestly makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes, but if people are being positively influenced by my videos and my music, I think that's a good thing. Is modal interchange applicable to all of the modes or just Ionian and Aeolian? How so? In theory, you can borrow from any mode, but typically speaking, you just borrow from the parallel Aeolian because Aeolian is most common in a tonal context. However, you will find instances of the flat 7 major 7, which is borrowed from the parallel Mixolydian, as well as the flat 2 major 7, which is borrowed from the parallel Phrygian, so you can use any mode, but most of the time, it's Aeolian. How are you this bored to tell me to ask you a question? Believe it or not, I'm working right now. This is my job. I'm creating content. It doesn't make sense to me either. What is the cat's name? Echo. Favorite standards? I'm a fan of Lush Life by Billy Strayhorn. If you couldn't be a musician or have a music-related job, what would you do? Why is Despacito the best song ever? Because Despacito 2 has not been released yet. How to learn music? Carefully. Who's the other members of Sungazer? The other member of Sungazer is Sean Crowder, a badass drummer. You can check out his channel. You can also check out his language learning channel called Learn Japanese in a Year, where he learns Japanese in a year. What is the best bass line ever? For once in my life, Stevie Wonder. God, is that bass line great. Good stuff. Are you good at jazz? I'm really just good at quoting the lick. That's pretty much all you need to do these days in order to get views, so by that metric, I'm good at jazz. Why? Why not? Jazz? Jazz. Do I have to learn theory to make music? I have a basic knowledge of it, but should I continue in depth? Think of it this way. You don't need to know how to read in order to speak, but chances are you'll be a lot better at speaking if you read a lot. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What's your favorite mode for compositional use? I'm partial to Mixolydian flat 6, which is the 5th mode of the melodic minor scale. It's the same pattern of whole steps and half steps when you build it going up as when you build it going down. The only other 7-note scale that's like that is Dorian. It also is symmetrically invertible, but Dorian is used quite often, and Mixolydian flat 6 is kind of a different color, so check it out. Does 1-4-5 make you punch air? You know, when you're learning complicated chord progressions, it can be kind of annoying when you're listening to simpler chord progressions, but at a certain point you just get over it and learn to listen to simple chord progressions for what they are. So no, 1-4-5 is totally cool with me. How's your day going? It's going pretty well. I just interviewed a neuroscientist this morning and that was cool. Going to New York in October, any music venues you'd recommend? Definitely Rockwood Music Hall. How do you feel about Super Locrian? It's pretty awesome. If you could rename any musical instrument, what would it be? I would change the name of the guitar to the toy bass. What about boiling bass strings? It's a good idea if you don't have any money to buy new bass strings. They come out sounding pretty much like new. You like jazz? Yes, I do. Very much so. How do you structure your work schedule when working from home? Terribly. Why are you so obsessed with the lick? I really am not. It's you people who are. Do you love all bass instruments? Yes, I do. Thoughts on shredding? Only if done well and appropriately. How do we improvise like we mean it? Think about it how you talk. How do you talk like you mean it? Confidence, knowing what you're going to say, practice. Is Portrait of Tracy a good audition piece for colleges? It's okay, but it's a solo piece. Most colleges want to hear you play something that you would typically play in a band. How long does it take you to edit a video? A really freaking long time. Most of my life is actually video editing, not playing music. Will Sungazer do a tour in the UK? Yes, we will. We have a couple dates booked in October. Look out for that. What would you do if you were asked to be an expert on the recent Ed Sheeran court case? I would say yes, and argue that Ed Sheeran has the right to use chords. Duh. The information you provide in a short time is really great. How many hours do you spend on research? It depends on what subject I'm talking about most of the time. If it's music theory related, not that much time spent on research. If it's other subjects, a lot of time spent on research. It might take several weeks to several months actually researching a topic in order to get it right. What is your opinion on Christian McBride and his bass solos? Like I said earlier, he was a big influence on my decision to become a musician, so that. That's my opinion. What's the first piece of advice you'd give to new bassists? Keep a straight wrist. Are you gonna play at your own wedding? Depends. How much does it pay? Is it possible to have an irrational time signature plus a normal one, like 3/6 plus 3/4? That's actually mainly when you see irrational time signatures, when you have other regular time signatures next to them, because otherwise it wouldn't really make any sense. So yes, it is possible. In fact, it's very common. What was your reason for starting a YouTube channel? It was 2006, I was in high school, and I wanted to show off. That's pretty much it. What size were the longest hair you've ever had? This. Look at that. I was in high school. It's pretty glorious, isn't it? What camera do you use for your videos? A Canon Rebel T6i. That's what I use. What's your middle name? Athanasius. When will you do a collab with the other bass melon? Soon. Very soon.